We're going to get you out to kickoff here in Detroit. The Buffalo Bills and Detroit Lions. Let's send it out to Fox 2 now. Detroit, Brandon Gaudin and Herman Moore with the call.
And the return game for Detroit, a lot of spots there up for grabs. And Godwin Igwebuike, who converted over from safety to running back, will get an opportunity here, and he'll bring it out from a couple yards deep. Former Northwestern Wildcat upended out at the 23-yard line. And here is Jared Goff, the #1 pick in 2016. Last 4 years with the Rams, 42 wins, and over that span, those victories second only to a man named Tom Brady. And slow to get off, Jaquan Johnson on that first kickoff of the night. Helmet malfunction. They're going to take care of that. And the Lions will start the drive at the 23 with Jamal Williams in the backfield. DeAndre Swift, the other running back, one of the scratches tonight. Again, precautionary, but he will not play. Goff first throw, and it's batted down. So a dangerous first pass. And the Jared Goff era incomplete as Matakevich got a hand on it. Tonight's offensive starting lineups brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System. And Herman, we talked about Penei Sewell, and I just mentioned no DeAndre Swift. Also, TJ Hawkinson, they're being cautious with him. He will not play tonight.
Yeah, they're just making sure they get out here and get a rhythm. Goff with the first pass is a quick pass. I expect to see a little bit more of that.
Instead, here it's a handoff and nothing on the ground for Jamal Williams, who came over after 4 seasons with Green Bay. But that's a guy in Williams that they're hoping to be a great 1-2 combination with DeAndre Swift when both are healthy in that backfield. So an early 3rd and long for Jared Goff. And that offensive line, which is supposed to be and will be one of the best in the league this year, giving up an early sack. Greg Rousseau, the rookie, first-round pick for Buffalo, getting in there.
Buffalo's going to bring a lot of pressure. 4-man rush, and this is a line that's going to have a lot to do. Penei Sewell is going to get back. He's going to get tested all year long, and he's going to have to be able to stand in the pocket and not allow that pressure to get there.
So Herman, the 2 rookie first-round picks there going at it, with Rousseau getting by the young 20-year-old Penei Sewell. And an early punt from the end zone here for the Pro Bowler in 2020, Jack Fox. And it angles out of bounds just across from midfield. So an early 3 and out. First chance to see the Detroit defense facing Mitchell Trubisky. So it will not be Josh Allen, who just signed a 6-year extension worth over $250 million. Instead, they're going to go with Mitchell Trubisky, who obviously, Herman, they brought in from Chicago to be the backup here.
Yeah, Lions had an opportunity to see a lot of them, but this is a different defense for Detroit, so they're not as familiar with him.
And a pretty good hole there on first down, and a 15, maybe 16-yard gain. And a flag coming in, our first flag of the night.
Holding. Offense number 68. It's a 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Shawn Hochuli, the referee, penalty flag on Bobby Hart. So we get a look at the Lions defense. New faces on this side of the ball. Starting lineup brought to you by the Michigan Department of Community Health. Alex Anzalone, new in that linebacker spot. And a lot to sort out on the back end. And another good-sized hole. So the penalty, but all but making up for that, getting a big gain there is Devin Singletary.
There's been a lot of talk about the Lions offensive line, but it's the defensive line that I think there's going to come into focus, because they're going to have to not allow plays like this up the middle. This is just a simple draw play. They're playing the pass, and yet on a down and distance that they should be able to set, they weren't able to get this guy down.
The defensive line certainly was a priority in the offseason. Couple draft upgrades, and got Michael Brockers as well in a trade. But right now, that offensive line for the Bills is winning the battle as Singletary with another nice carry. Just in general, Herman, though, this new defense under Aaron Glenn, what do you expect to be different 2021?
They're really looking to try and bring that safety down, or either take some of the linebackers and walk them up to the line of scrimmage to become that roaming defensive end. They're going to need a little bit more pressure up front if they're going to have to, face teams that are going to run the football a lot.
This time, that front is stout in dropping Singletary in his tracks. Kevin Strong, third year with the Lions, making a nice play in the backfield.
Yeah, Kevin Strong's going to come down the line. He's going to read the play going to the left side of the line and peeling off of that block. And that's what coaches want to see. They want to see you get in, make plays, and get off of the block. The Buffalo Bills are trying to run the football, and they're trying to set a tone. But you got to disrupt that by making big plays.
Well, you mentioned that pressure on the D-line. Just 24 sacks last year for the Lions, near the bottom of the league. But again, with the upgrades, that number figures to increase in 2021. But we certainly are seeing a heavy dose of the running game for the Buffalo Bills.
We didn't know what to expect coming out. If they were going to run or pass. Josh Allen's not in, and all of a sudden you got Trubinsky. We've known him to be able to run, be more of a runner than a passer. Coming out right now, Buffalo setting the tone, right, keeping the ball on the ground.
Third down at 6. Trubisky finally going to go to the air, but incomplete. In the coverage, A.J. Parker, an undrafted rookie who Dan Campbell has been very high on in camp, was there on the defensive side.
Lions are going to play man-to-man. There wasn't a switch. He had to stay with him. And coming underneath, it was an angle route by the receiver on the outside. A little low pass there. Almost an opportunity for a first down. But defensively, I expect to see the Lions play probably more zone than man this year. But, when they have to go man, they're going to have to be able to stop plays.
Field goal attempt coming up for Tyler Bass. Scored a Bills record 141 points last year. And we've got whistles before the field goal attempt. And Shawn McDermott, who's led Buffalo to the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years, took a timeout right before the delay of game. So we get ready for a field goal. Something that Herman often goes untalked about is a lot of these guys fighting to make the 53-man roster. Special teams is incredibly key to have in their arsenal.
And people talk a lot about the special teams, but it looks like that's where a lot of the spots may be open.
Yeah, well, especially when you consider there's of the 90 guys on the Detroit roster tonight, 51 of them were not a part of the team last year. Tyler Bass able to convert for our first points of the preseason. 3-0 Buffalo. The Lions' second go on offense when we return. Become a Detroit Lions season ticket member for the 2021 campaign. Tickets starting as low as $43 per game. Visit DetroitLions.com/tickets or call 313-262-2222. Learn how to get up to $100 off in-stadium credit by purchasing tonight. So check it out tonight. You got to figure he's a season ticket holder, right?
He's already excited. He's got his 54 on. I don't know if that's in honor of Chris Billman or not. But, one thing you had mentioned early on, there's a lot of positions that are going to be open beyond just what we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, special teams is something that's so crucial. Here's another guy in Javon Leak who just signed with the team this week, getting an opportunity to return the kick out to the 20-yard line. But for a lot of these guys that are on the edge, that's going to be the key. Now, we certainly know that Jared Goff, his roster position is safe. 3 and out on the first drive, and he'll get another opportunity here. It's Jamal Williams again in the backfield, and the former Green Bay Packer keeping those legs churning for a pickup of 4.
Brent, everyone's talked about the running game with Swift, and also you got Williams coming over from Green Bay. I think if they can establish a running game, that's going to always strengthen your passing game. But I like to see these guys. I know both of these running backs have the ability out of the backfield to also contribute to the passing game.
You and I were talking about it before the game, but Jared Goff in L.A. known to be such a great play-action passer. See how he fits that into his arsenal in the Lions uniform. This time over the middle, complete. And finding Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond, Herman was signed in March to be a return man, but Dan Campbell said he's been so good in camp, they might find a good spot for him.
Yeah, I expect to see this. I talked about it earlier, that the underneath routes and getting the ball out early is going to be big, because this is not a seasoned group of wide receivers. They've been there, but having them get comfortable with the short passing game is what's going to help this offense find that consistency.
Raymond just one of a slew of new faces out wide. Needing short yardage here. The Bills think they got the stop. It's close.
Williams going to find a little lane and try and get in there. Gets clipped a little bit, but you know, the Lions, I really think, are going to have a strong running game, especially when you look at Swift, where you can rotate guys in and out. They both have their different strengths and their weaknesses, and that's going to bring balance to their backfield.
Again, no Swift tonight, so Williams getting the first couple of series, and boy, he is hit there and dropped. Josh Thomas, hard-hitting safety, coming up for the stop. You know, going back to the wide receivers, though, how difficult is that for both quarterback and all these new wide receivers to get on the same page early?
Well, it's not going to be as difficult as much as it's the rhythm. It's the rhythm of the game. They've been going against each other in practice. Now you get to go out, and it's the game speed of it. It happens a lot faster. You have to be ready to go.
Jared Goff, first thing he did was ask for the numbers, the cell phone numbers of all the wide receivers. They have put in a lot of work since he arrived here in Detroit, and this time one of those new faces, the rookie fourth-rounder Amon-Ra St. Brown.
St. Brown's going to do a good job of being able to beat the press coverage. They've been seeing a lot of that in practice all training camp, and just being able to use his speed to create separation at the line of scrimmage and do the out route. That's a timing route. Goff hits him right where he can catch it and pick up short down.
All the buzz from camp that Brown and Goff were certainly on the same page. A lot of chemistry built between those two. Goff escapes the pocket, and here comes a flag. Shawn Hochuli, Ed Hochuli's son. Everybody remembers Ed Hochuli. He's the referee tonight in its 4th season. But it's preseason for the guys in black and white, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, it takes, it looks like it takes a few more of them. One guy throws a flag, but you need a lot to figure out why he threw that flag.
Now consulting with Coach Campbell, Jared Goff over there. Here we go.
Before the quarterback left the pocket, illegal contact, defense number 36. This is a 5-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down.
Okay, so illegal contact on Josh Thomas, who had the big hit earlier, the safety.
And Brandon, I talked earlier about what they liked about Jared Goff, and that was the fact that he can move outside the pocket. He started to feel the pressure coming on the right side, but he's able to step up, get around, get a little penalty downfield. But just seeing his mobility is going to be just a really good thing for this offense, especially when they start facing defenses that have those really aggressive defensive ends.
26 years of Ibinda for maybe a yard.
You talk about a little bit of the play action. They're going to try and do that comeback, try and sneak someone underneath. You know, talked to Coach Campbell earlier, and it's not about the preseason being about who's winning and who's losing. It's about sticking to a script. It's about getting certain plays seen and put on film. And I think that's what we're seeing a lot of.
Back to the ground game. And that should be enough for the first. And it is.
That's how you build confidence. You make sure, you don't have to pass. A lot of times people will elect to go with a short pass, but the Lions are proving that, they have these. St. Brown's one of those. He's a receiver that he's kind of deceptive because he has some speed. He also has some size to get the thing done.
Offense.
He's going to get his arms up under there.
He only had 2 penalties, Herman, all of last year when he was named to the Pro Bowl.
I talked to T.J. Lang, and he said, you know what, he's been around some big guys before. But he says he would be a small fella along this offensive line.
Yeah, Ragnow, 311-pounder at the center position. Here's a handoff on 1st and 20 after the penalty, getting some of that yardage back. Williams. I guess for the offensive line, form with a reception.
They're going to recognize there's going to be a little bit of a. You always get those flags coming back late.
This penalty is declined as the play results in a first down.
So hands to
zone. He knows that the safeties are playing high. The corners are swatting on the outside. It gives them a little bit of a window to be able to drop the ball in. Good recognition by the pass catcher and by the quarterback.
20-yard gain operating for Bills territory. Right up the gut for a few. Jamal Williams. So you mentioned the play calling. Is it a lot different in a preseason game than maybe what Dan? Williams again. And it's going to be 3rd down and about 7 after a 1-yard gain. Another tackle for Josh Thomas bringing down Williams.
I was interested coming into this game.
Yards. First down. 3rd catch for St. Brown here in the opening quarter.
St. Brown's going to continue to work in the slot, and I've been impressed with the way he's been able to run his routes. He's getting his head upfield, but you know what? Being able to teach that early on, and that's the discipline in the route, to be patient, to make sure you get your depth. You see that with St. Brown. Really good connection between he and Goff, and that timing. That's big. Preseason, to have that early, I know it's going to make the coaching staff feel real comfortable with what they've seen so far.
Well, as we said, they've been very impressed with Amon-Ra St. Brown, the 21-year-old rookie. Very business-like approach, Dan Campbell was telling us. And this time it's Tyrell Williams.
Name for themselves, or to get that deserved playing time. Tyrell Williams is one of those guys he's got some size to him, and these aren't small receivers that are going to be on outside. They're not as known as some of the others you may see around the league, but I'll tell you what, they're going to fight, they're going to scrap. Have an opportunity to talk to Coach Randall. He was looking to say, I got to figure out how do I extract that talent out of these players.
And there is a lot of talent they believe to extract out of Tyrell Williams. Another Williams, Jamal, getting his 9th carry here of the opening quarter.
Jamal's getting a lot of work. That's his 9th carry so far in this opening quarter. Lions are making a commitment. They want to be able to have a running attack this season. It's going to be imperative. All the talk's been around Goff. It's been around the offensive line, but it's going to be a complete unit. And them being able to put that all together to determine how do they replace some of the pieces that they missed.
And again, without DeAndre Swift tonight with a minor groin issue. And here an empty set for Goff. Going for the end zone. Batted free. Is there a flag? There is not. They say clean coverage by Wallace on Williams.
Like the fact that they were going there. You got a little bit of hand on the backside. I don't think it's enough. They always look for a hand. That's actually a good play by the defensive back, getting his hand up and recognizing where the ball is. But you're going to see that competition. You're going to see guys battling. But when you chip away with the run, eventually it gives you an opportunity to have that. Well, there's a little pull on the jersey there. So had the angle that I had from here.
Yeah, may have gotten away with one. Now 3rd down. He's got some space. but tripped up at the 10. So that'll bring up 4th and 4. Boogie Basham just got enough of Goff.
I'm sure everybody's heart starts to pound a little bit the minute you see a quarterback in preseason like Goff starting to move out. But stepping up and just recognizing that there's nothing there. You're going to get rid of, not try and throw anything, force anything. You want to put points on the board when you get inside of scoring every return.
So through 2 drives, Goff 7 of 9, 56 yards. And now to try to tie the game, Randy Bullock. Kicking competition between he and Zane Gonzalez is going on. And it's Bullock who gets the first crack. And he knocks the chip shot field goal through the uprights.
It's easy to play. Download the NFL Fantasy app today.
3-3 scoring drive for the Lions, brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System. Bullock, the 28-yard field goal. 9 minutes and 54 seconds, Herman. That drive ate up off the clock.
There's nothing wrong with that. You want to be able to put together those long, sustaining drives. But just coming away with points is the big thing. Here, Coach Campbell's just looking for execution. The coaches are going to look for execution. The players right now should be looking at high grades when they come off the field.
So a very different second drive. On the first Lions drive, it was 3 and out. And the turf monster got Isaiah McKenzie.
Haven't heard that in a long time. The turf monster. I love it. You're talking about the kicking battle. And just to go back just a moment, we talk about special teams, we talk about players. It's not often when you hear about there's a battle at the kicking position. When Matt Prater's gone, all of a sudden now you have 2 kickers. You got Bullock, you got Gonzalez trying to fight for that position. And that's a battle to look for in the preseason as well.
Yeah. Prater has been with the team since 2014. Now he's out in Arizona. Mitchell Trubisky again at quarterback for Buffalo. Starter Josh Allen has not been out there. It's been all Trubisky here through the first couple of drives.
Coach Glenn has talked about really wanting to do some things with this defense to make it a little bit more flexible and be able to move players around so they will get a chance to see how flexible these players are.
Aaron Glenn, his first year guiding an NFL defense. Been around the league for a long time. Here that defense allows the first down reception to Dawson Knox, tight end. And that should wind us down to the end of the opening frame. So both teams feeling each other out. The Bills had the first field goal, and then the Lions with the long, nearly 10-minute drive that was capped off on a 28-yard field goal of their own, and we're tied at 3 in downtown Detroit. On to Danny Rogers.
Defensive end Michael Brockers is new here to the Detroit Lions, but after he goes through his workouts and his drills at practice, he'll catch his breath and he will stay to make sure that he trash talks the next 56 guys in line. And head coach Dan Campbell loves that camaraderie. Michael Brockers says he's always been a guy who, messes with his teammates and tests their mental. He says he's keeping them on their toes, and the young guys on this team, they are catching on to what this 10-year vet has got in his back pocket. Brandon?
And Danny, he's a big piece on that revamped defensive line, Herman, that we were talking about. Brockers coming over from the Rams, and then a couple of draft picks as well, really hoping to fortify that defensive front.
They're hoping to be able to, again, right now, it's always a debate. Do you go with a 3-4 or do you go with a 4-3? The Lions are going to look to play the best defense based on the series and based on the stack that you bring out in the offensive unit. They need to have athletic players. They need to have players that have the flexibility to be able to move around. But I think I'm looking at the linebackers in the secondary to see how they will hold up in some of this man coverage.
Yeah, secondary is going to be a big talking point, especially the safety position. But in addition to Brockers up front, you look at Aleem McNeil out there. That's a guy along that defensive front that has really impressed Herman. They're expecting big things out of the rookie from NC State. Yeah,
third-round rookie out of NC State. If they can get some of these players to just materialize and just really start to really come along and hone their skills in early on, that's going to provide the depth that I think this team's going to need, because you never know when that next person's got to step up.
And this time stood up after a short 1-yard gain on 3rd down and 3. There again, Kevin Strong, we called his name earlier as the defense holds up here 3 and out.
Yeah, just coming down. And all you want to do is try and fill the gaps. Make sure you make those lanes a lot smaller for the running backs. Buffalo came out early. We saw that having some success. And, I also wanted to see in the preseason, how will this defensive unit adjust to what the opponent is doing to them? They were getting a lot of runs up the middle. There was a lot of leakage, but now all of a sudden they've been able to plug it up.
And forcing the punt, Matt Hawk. First year with Buffalo, signed in free agency to kick it away 2 minutes into the second. And a fair catch just inside the 20. Victor Bolden. Back to Detroit in a moment. 3-3.
Let's go. It's the biggest season ever, and NFL Network is here for it.
As expected, first stringers are done, so Jared Goff, Herman went a quarter. What did you think of number 16 out there?
I think they just wanted to get out, let him get some rhythm, some tempo, get a couple passes in. I thought he was fairly accurate. I thought the receivers, and especially St. Brown, did a good job of creating some opportunities.
So 7 of 9, he sits and turns it over to Tim Boyle. And Tim Boyle throws high, looking for Victor Bolden. Tim Boyle, who was Aaron Rodgers' backup the last 2 years, and they really think he can be a formidable number 2 behind Goff.
They really do, and you're talking about 2 quarterbacks. He's got the size. He's 6'4", he's 233 pounds. He's able to look over these big linemen and find guys. He's just got to get that pass, for instance, down. But he's going to have a future. That second string position is really up between him and Blau.
Yeah, we'll see David Blau later. Off his back foot here, complete, but really for nothing, just a yard as he gets it to Alize Mack.
One thing I've seen that's predicated on this offense, especially in the passing attack, they always are going to be running underneath. They're going to always have a quick release somewhere in the event that there's a breakdown. So I think they're going to hedge a few plays when they're calling them this year to find out, we don't want to get caught in the backfield. We don't want to get caught in long down and distance. Right now, you're looking at a 3rd and 9. So, this is a situation you want to stay out of if you're a Detroit Lions.
As you probably noticed, this is a full second string change here. So the first team is on the bench. And that one incomplete. Victor Bolden, frustrated, thought he should have had the first down. Instead, it's a 3 and out.
Victor Bolden's one of those players, too, that Coach Campbell has talked about as being one of those players. That's a catchable pass. You're going to make those plays, and especially if you want to impress your coaches, you have to do that in the preseason. You're not going to get the perfect pass, but you have to be able to try and make those tough catches look easy.
Yeah, you're right. He's received a lot of praise since OTAs, has Bolden, but unable to come up with a critical catch there to keep the drive going. And McKenzie returning for Buffalo, but he's trapped inside the 20-yard line. Good special teams play by Jalen Reeves-Maben. Special teams ace for the Detroit Lions, making the play.
Oh, there's that cute guy from 12C. Go talk to him.
Yeah, no.
Action, all the new faces for the Detroit Lions. Aaron Glenn, defensive coordinator. Of course, Dan Campbell, head coach. New quarterback, new general manager as well. Herman. Brad Holmes coming over after 18 years with the Rams. And Anthony Lynn, former head coach with the Chargers as well. So a lot to get used to.
It's a lot to get used to, but when you're looking to revamp, and you may as well. I mean, you have all these new players. You got guys that are coming from all over the league. There's not many players that the fans are going to recognize. They're going to have to earn their keep, and that's what the preseason game is all about. It's about coming out here. I don't need to know your name right off the bat, but what I want to see is you make plays to make me earn knowing your name, and that's what players have an opportunity to do right here. The staff is going to do that. That's one of the things that Coach Campbell has talked about as being a big piece for his team, is he wants everyone to understand what his team does and his staff does and what the players do.
Yeah, he said at least for the preseason and early regular season, it's an advantage that there's really no tape on what this coaching staff is going to do together. That's Breida with a short gain. Bills with a new quarterback, by the way, Davis Webb. But he said that could be an advantage early because no one has seen this coaching staff assembled for these Lions.
And I believe that to be true, because if you can't get say this is what this offense is going to be, or these are the habits of particular players, you can't game plan accordingly, and you more or less have to come out and just wait and see what you get.
Third down and 4. Trying to get a hold of him, and Breida fighting forward close. Looks like he's going to be a little bit short. 4th down.
That's just good pursuit, not giving up. Breaks a couple tackles, but that's when you want to see guys in the secondary come up and make plays. You're not going to make it all the time, but once you have opportunity to stop a team and try and get the ball back, this is a good opportunity for the Lions.
And Buffalo keeping the offense out there, at least for the moment, on 4th and short from inside their own 30. See if they actually snap it. And they will. To the first man through, and they'll get it. So a 4th down conversion. Maybe you're a little gutsier with those calls in the preseason.
I was just ready to mention that. You know, if this was regular season, then I think we'd all be looking at this a little bit differently. But, you know, why not take a chance? That's what this is about. I talked about it earlier. You know, Coach Campbell said he's going to run his script of plays. You know, you look at Coach McDermott, he's going to do the exact same thing. There's things they really need to get done that you cannot replicate in practice. So why not do it out here? You're not going to lose anything, even if you don't get it.
Bills coming off that AFC Championship game appearance. Big expectations this season in Buffalo. And a completion there to Tommy Sweeney, second string tight end out of Boston College.
I like the fact that you're going to try and do a little bit of that play action again, sneaking out on the backside. Lions have tried this, and someone's always asking me, you know, is it the running game that really sets up the play action? I think it's got to be the quarterback also having that play fake. That becomes important. We should practice that all the time, because if you don't have a good play fake either way with the quarterback who can't sell it, then it doesn't work either way. And then also the person who's going to sneak out on that backside.
Here is the play action. Davis Webb able to hit it underneath to Reggie Gilliam. Takes it across the 50. Anything that you've noticed here through the first few series, Herman, for this defense under Aaron Glenn?
I've just noticed that, I won't say that they're overly aggressive. We've seen them play a lot more man coverage in practice. You know, I think we're going to see a mixture of that during the preseason. I don't think they're going to commit to any one thing. They've talked about different fronts, different sets they're going to run in the secondary. This is where you iron it all out. You get a chance to see which players are going to respond in which type of situation. And I think that's really all they're trying to do, both on the offensive side of the ball and with Aaron Glenn on the defensive side.
False start coming up here for Buffalo.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
So back him up. Well, with that secondary, I mean, most people think that safety, probably the biggest question mark, especially the depth at safety after Walker and Harris.
They have to find someone who's going to be the general in the back. That's the person that's going to protect your deep thirds. And if you can iron that out now, they're going to have some tough competition in the receiving units that they're going to face this upcoming season.
And no gain there for Buffalo.
You know, Brandon, often I'm asked in the preseason, you know, what is it that a player focuses on, you know, during the preseason? You know, you're going to focus on technique. You're going to focus on assignment. You're going to focus on each and every play and try and see how you grade out. The players are being graded. Fans are going to get something. They can isolate certain players. They can isolate on certain sides of the ball. But really what the players are looking for is, how do I grade out when it comes film time?
The roster, of course, starting at 90. On Tuesday of next week, it'll be cut down to 85, then to 80, and after the final preseason game, down to 53. Davis Webb rolling out. And he'll tuck it and pick up the first down.
You bring pressure, quarterback's not accounted for, and if you get one that has a little bit of athleticism, can get outside of the pocket, it's a good job by the quarterback understanding where the first down marker is and being able to pick up the first down.
Davis Webb, third-round pick back in 2017, but he's never taken a regular season snap. All preseason action as he hands off here for a 1-yard gain. Speaking of the preseason, in 3 games. It used to be 4 pre-pandemic. Obviously, with the extra regular season game, do you like that they've cut it down to 3 preseason games?
They can cut it down to 2. I don't think many players would like that. If you're trying to make a roster, then I believe you want to have all 4 games. This, I think, gives the coaches an opportunity to make swift decisions, get into their playbook a little bit sooner than they normally would during a regular preseason when you have 4 games.
And that last cut, as I mentioned, is so steep because you go from 80 players all the way down to 53 after that 3rd preseason game. Tackled forward there for the first down was Singletary. So Buffalo with a sustained drive here trying to get the lead back.
The Lions have struggled so far in this game with that draw play. It seems like there was a delay and the linebackers or someone's not really reading that run versus pass. And the draw is designed really to have that happen, but this is pretty wide open and you can see it materializing pretty early. And you want to see those guys react a little bit faster than what we're seeing.
Yeah, Buffalo, Herman, 74 rushing yards, just 19 on the ground so far for Detroit. Play fake. Webb nowhere to go, just throws it at the feet of Singletary.
Good coverage in the secondary. You're going to see receivers running around, and that's what you worry about as a coach. You get a broken play or you get a play that extends. Guys have a tendency to run free, but you got a lot of different players that are trying to figure out a scheme. That's one of the concerns that I have. If teams have a lot of motion and you start switching a lot, will guys get lost in that play?
Yeah, the defense that is trying to make some major improvements, but to your point, everything is new. New coordinator, new scheme, new everything. Inside of 5 minutes left here in the first half. Breida trying to get the edge. Out. Mike Ford shoving him. Mike Ford, another one of those guys who might have a bigger role than the last 3 years. Got a lot of run with the first team at slot corner in camp. Third down and 8. And Webb incomplete. Flag comes in though. And Nikel Roby-Coleman, just signed this week on August 9th to add depth to the cornerback room, is going to be flagged.
Pass interference.
Coleman's going to get
Defense number 43. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul and an automatic.
They get tied up. The Lions have been playing a little bit. They had a little problem with this early on, and that's that little bit of it's almost like a receiver angle route. And when you get caught up in that, you got to be able to come off of that and recognize it. I mean, you don't want to see this team facing a lot of man coverage, and that's one of the concerns. If I had to have one thing about looking at this defensive unit this year, it is if they run a lot of that man coverage, will they be able to hold up defensively?
Penalty flag there, so 1st and 10. Bobble catch. And out around the 15-yard line again, it's Mike Ford. Now keep in mind when we talk about the corners of the secondary too, that Corn Elder is battling a hamstring injury. Quentin Dunbar released yesterday for personal reasons, so they're a little short-staffed in the secondary as well.
They are, but you're trying to figure out, it doesn't stop. Players are going to go up. It's no different if you release a guy or whether or not, a player gets hurt. This is going to determine what the depth of this unit is going to look like.
Cutting it back inside, it's going to be 1st and goal. That rushing attack continues to prove fruitful for Buffalo. Last year they were all about the pass, but the running game has been pretty good for them here in the first half.
And the running game, when it starts to go well, you have to start to commit extra people to the line or up there to try and protect and try and keep those running attacks from being as long and as profitable as they've been. And when you do that, you expose your secondary to that man coverage, and that could become an exposure for this team. But so far, so good in terms of being able to lock them down.
Play fake, and there's the rollout. Wide open. Doesn't get much easier than that. First touchdown of the game goes to Devin Singletary.
Whenever you start running the football well, even though he wasn't there, he's wide open. Defense goes to the strong side of the field. That was to the left. He's running back. Singletary wide open for an easy play fake.
And this is a Bills team that last year scored over 500 points, set a franchise record. And they have their first touchdown, and they have the lead back with 2:37 left in the second quarter.
NFL Network has 3 exclusive Thursday night games and a special Sunday game from London. The exclusive live game starts September 16th, only on NFL Network.
Bills touchdown to get the lead. Scoring drive brought to you by Xfinity. Capped on the Davis Webb pass to Singletary. 15 plays, 83 yards over 9 minutes. So the Lions, Herman, had an almost 10-minute drive, and the Bills came close to equaling that at 9-10 on that 15-play drive.
When I look at 15 plays and I look at those 9 play drives, it just means consistency. It means execution. You're going down and you're doing exactly what was designed by the coaches.
Electing to bring this out of the end zone. And finding some space, Javon Leake. He was an electric returner at Maryland. And he gets it out near the 30. And we go right back to commercial break. 10-3 Bills. It's on Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the NFL. By Kroger, fresh for everyone. And by Gatorade, greatness starts with G. Fans back at Ford Field, and it sure feels good to see them and have them and hear them after the quiet 2020. 2 minutes, 29 seconds left here as the Lions take over. And they'll start this drive with a handoff to Jamar Jefferson. Another rookie, 7th-round pick. Curious to see what he brings to the table, Herman.
He's going to hopefully bring depth to this running back position. It's a tough place to be because you're going to go with 2 guys that you know are going to be given the reins and going to get most of the carries. But you want to always make sure you have those extra players because anytime injuries occur, you want to have that confidence without having to lose all that.
And a flag or a timeout first. And that's the 2-minute warning.
The 2-minute warning. 2 minutes.
So 2 minutes for the Lions to try to mount a drive here and either tie it or get a field goal. Training camp presented by Rocket Mortgage. This Monday, August 16th, team headquarters in Allen Park. Gates open 1:30. Practice begins 2:30. For more info, visit DetroitLions.com/training camp. You and I were out there this week. Fans out there, good vibe, good energy, and fun to see the new regime operate camp as well.
It is. This is a fan base that is pretty high energy. They like the anticipation of preseason. They like the anticipation of the regular season. The support's going to be there. It's about who are you going to field? What type of team are you going to field? So the excitement and just the intrigue of who those players are and getting to know them at a little bit more depth is what that training camp is all about. And I think the Lions did a good job this year putting that on.
Yeah, a lot of access, photo opportunities, a lot of fun for the family and the kids to go out there and see the team. So with inside of 2 minutes now, pass completed to Tom Kennedy as Tim Boyle has his second drive under center for the Lions. And we get to see them operate that 2-minute offense. With a 3rd down and 2, pressure off the edge, just got it away. Trying to stay on his feet. The verdict in a moment.
good thing for them as well.
And it's a 3rd down and 3 here. Let's see if they can get the stop. And faking the pass and running it in wide open lane for Davis Webb, easily picking up the 1st down.
As I just mentioned, coaches really like to take these chances. They're going to try something that's a little bit different. You would expect, you're thinking they're going to pass the football here under every circumstance, but you're going to have your quarterback take off and Webb's going to take off. And just, again, good play fake, playing it down in distance.
It's a flag that comes in late. Maybe they're saying there was no receiver in the area, but Davis Webb is pleading his case.
Intentional grounding by the offense, number 7. He did not get the...
Yeah, 10-second runoff from 34 to 24, so they'll adjust that. But a first half yardage-wise, it's been dominated by the Bills, 148 to 73, and they're going to tack on a few more here. But Detroit willing to cede that. Shawn Hamilton with a stop just inside the 20.
Bill starts to shrink. You start to see a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see the Lions come out and play a little man coverage on this last one, try and maybe bring some pressure. You get a little bit of work in the red zone with your defensive backs against wide receivers. You get a little pressure on the quarterback, but there's no need to worry about. You see a trick play here or there. That's a good thing in the preseason. You want people throwing these odd things at you. It only makes you better. You get it on tape. It allows you to go back and see, how do we protect against that so we're not vulnerable.
Buffalo taking their last time out there, as you see Davis Webb 6 of 8 since coming into the game. So they can't stop the...
This goes back to what I was thinking. They were going to try and get a little bit of man. Getting your hands on it. They've seen a lot of this in the training camp. It was really good coverage by Iffy, playing that man coverage. You see your young players. You're trying to see if you can find those gems that are on the squad that are new, and everyone's got to kind of earn their own keep.
For Buffalo, as they are now Super Bowl contenders. Let's get you back to Fox 2 Detroit. Brandon Gaudin and Herman Moore on the call.
Zane Gonzalez will kick it away. He's the other guy in the kicking battle that we talked about with Randy Bullock. And now Brandon Powell returning for the Bills. Tripped up around the 20-yard line. So Campbell, former player who's now a head coach. And you see some of the other guys on the staff. Of course, Anthony Lynn, offensive coordinator, former player. And on down the line, a lot of faces, as you would expect.
It is. Played during the time with Mark Brunell. Aaron Glenn's another guy I played against. We know a lot of these different players, and I haven't seen a team that has had so much talent that has the action that has actually been out on the field. And they're able to bring that knowledge to these players, which I think is transferred over very well to these players.
And you notice most of those assistants on the offensive side of the football, former players. Right now the defense with another test here as they stop Antonio Williams for a short run. Bruce Hector with the stop, who was signed back in July.
It's got to be tough for coaches in the preseason to try and really get a sense. You're trying to evaluate players. You're also trying to put in a scheme. You're also trying to work in different combinations. So to even think you're going to get that consistency is tough at times, but you do want to see some movement on both sides of the ball.
So the first team through the first quarter, then the second unit most of the second quarter. Now some of the other guys are going to be rotating in here as we get to the second half. And a pitch and catch outside the tackles for a first down, Isaiah Hodgins. Seen that a couple times, Herman. Buffalo able to extend plays and make a throw on the edge.
That's one of the toughest things for a defensive back is you got to maintain that coverage. You got receivers running all over the place. When the quarterback is able to extend the play by creating time and moving around in the pocket, typically you find guys getting open, and that's probably the worst case scenario for a defensive back.
Davis Webb still quarterbacking Buffalo. No Josh Allen tonight. He's sitting. He's fine. Mitchell Trubisky got the start, and now Davis Webb. Off the play fake. And the time underneath, and that turns into a solid gain for Antonio Williams.
Lions defensive unit has been having a hard time with that play pretty much all game. You're finding that leakage on the backside. Someone's got to be able to stay home. When you get that exposure, teams start to pick up on that. We talk about the significance of what preseason film looks like. And Coach Campbell had mentioned, it's not a lot of film on this particular unit because of the difference of the players. But now they start seeing that, hey, these are problems that you're having. You best believe they're going to see it in the regular season.
Short gain here. That'll bring up third down. Well, some of those holes on those plays like we just saw, is that because of the more aggressive defensive scheme?
A lot of that is play recognition. You have to be able to recognize what the opponent's trying to do to you. You're going to just not always be right. You're going to have some blown coverages. You're going to have some missed assignments, and you're going to have defensive end chasing and giving up containment. But after that, you've seen that a few times during the game. You expect conversation to happen on the sideline, adjustments to be made, and then you start to see those plays not be as effective.
Third down and 1. Buffalo tried this play earlier and picked up a first down on a fourth down. And it looks like where they're coming in from on the side, they're going to get the first down again here.
Looks like that might be a little generous.
Yeah, I thought so too. Thought he might have gotten it, but that indicated that he got it clearly. Let's see.
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Not from that angle. But let's give credit to the defensive line. They've been a little bit stronger up front. They've started to kind of clamp down. Buffalo did a really good job in the first half of creating lanes and holes, and we'll see if the Lions can shut that down in the second half.
Again, rolling out. Good job on the defensive side here. Coming up and making a stop by Derek Barnes, another rookie. Fourth rounder has been limited with a hamstring injury, but the hamstring looked pretty healthy here.
Yeah, Buffalo's tried that play, I think, one time too many. The recognition, I think someone's gotten a player's ear in the sideline and told him, you know what, we've seen this so far about 8 times this game. We shouldn't see that guy sneaking out on the backside for an easy pitch and catch.
Barnes out of Purdue. They call him a sideline-to-sideline linebacker, which is what this staff wants. A little smaller linebacker than the previous regime with more quickness. That's one thing that they talked about, Herman, though, is the linebackers with more speed maybe than previous years, and also using guys like Okora and Flowers as stand-up edge rushers rather than with their hand in the dirt.
You talk about Okora and Flowers being able to be those stand-up ends. They want to be able to have the flexibility of moving those guys around. They can move them off the ball. They can move them up to the line of scrimmage to provide extra pass rush or just containment, and just bringing that athleticism to this front line allows them to extend that defense and make that side a little bit wider.
Third down here for Buffalo. Third down and 8. Nowhere to go because the pressure got to him. And again, it's number 55, Derek Barnes. There's that quickness.
Barnes playing with really good speed. He's one of those guys, you talk sideline to sideline. If you can find a linebacker that can have speed and that can get in and bring pressure like that and kind of zero in, that's the pressure that you're going to need with this team, not knowing if you want to play those flexible coverages that we've talked about. You got to have athleticism in the linebacking position. You got to have it also on the secondary.
And that's something that Aaron Glenn has preached, quickness and athleticism on that defensive side. And quickly dropped Victor Bolden after good hang time on the punt. Good start for the defense. Now home games are on sale now at DetroitLions.com/tickets. The team opens the regular season at Ford Field Sunday, September 12th against the 49ers. Visit DetroitLions.com/tickets to reserve your seats now. In just 3 regular or preseason games, I should say, versus 4 as it was back in 2019. And with the new faces, as the run is there for no gain for Jefferson, we talked earlier about the wide receiver position, Herman, that you used to play. And just everybody is new with the exception of Quintez Cephas. It's pretty much all new faces for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, this new corps is not only a strong one. I think they're going to catch some people off guard. You talk about Terrell Williams, Rashard Perriman. These are big guys. Ahmad Ross St. Brown. And as you go down that line and you start thinking about who these players are going to be and what they're going to do, they're going to have to make a name for themselves. I talked about it before. If you want to get people to know who you are, you got to be able to make plays.
And unfortunately, the defense making a play there. Boyle throwing the interception. Caleb Benenoch picked it off, and not only that, but Boyle is hurt. There's a flag in the backfield, too. A lot going on here on this play, and Boyle in some pain.
Looks like he got rolled up on.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 93. This is a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
So no interception, but now, as you said, getting rolled up on, and you worry about that left foot ankle area.
You always worry about that. A defensive lineman typically gets pushed down. I don't know necessarily he's going for him low like that, but
he reached immediately for that left ankle.
It's good to see that Boyle's up and running back.
So he's going to exit here, Tim Boyle, and third-string quarterback David Blau. Well, Boyle is actually back out there, so Blau was starting to come out, and he said, no, I'm good. He wants these preseason reps.
It's too valuable. You're trying to get that backup position. You're getting in there. But it's, like I said, it's good to see that you don't want players getting hurt. These are two guys that are going to be significant players, whether it's Blau or whether it's Boyle, that's going to be there in the event that something were to go wrong with your starting quarterback.
Another carry for Jamar Jefferson. Mentioned that Goff, with all those new receivers, having to learn things too. Of course, the same thing for Tim Boyle coming over from Green Bay after the last couple of seasons, learning all these new faces out at wide receiver.
You got two backup quarterbacks who have played behind some really good passers in the NFL, in Matthew Stafford and one in Aaron Rodgers. So that's got to give you some confidence if you don't see, and you're thinking about, okay, if anything does again go wrong, I know I have some guys that can come in who've been in good positions in the past.
Tim Boyle, he beat out Jordan Love for the backup spot last year in Green Bay, where they had drafted to be the heir apparent. So Boyle's capable. He just doesn't have a lot of the regular season experience, as he misses there on the incompletion.
When I think about what's important for, when you look at the different player positions, quarterback position, especially the backup quarterbacks, preseason is important. I mean, that's a special position for all teams, but to get the experience at this time and under these type of non-meaningful situations is a good thing.
You saw Blau, their third quarterback on the roster that we have not seen yet, although we almost did a moment ago. Third down and 7. Pass batted in the air, incomplete, no flags. They say the defense was cleaned by DeMar Hamlin.
I mentioned before, they're going to be running a lot of these underneath routes. And as you come underneath, you got to be ready to go. Ball's going to need to be there a little bit sooner, but receiver's going to, Allison, he's thinking that defensive back's going to be waiting on the other side. You want to catch that a little bit sooner before you get all the way to the other side of the field, because there's always someone waiting on the other side unless it's just a clear-cut man route.
First target there for Geronimo Allison, and he's got some rust to shake off because he was a COVID opt-out last season after signing with the Lions in April of 20. Brandon Powell is hit and dropped, but here's a flag. Oh, what did Jacobs do wrong there?
They didn't get him. Targeting? I don't know about this call. Maybe because he led with his helmet.
Thought from the naked eye he gave him enough space to catch the football. Oh, there you go. Yep. Helmet to helmet contact.
Personal foul. Lowering the helmet to initiate contact. kicking team, number 39. This 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. It's first down.
So Jerry Jacobs with a 15-yard penalty there as he hit Brandon Powell. Timeout on the field. Back to Detroit in a moment. Checking out Jerry Jacobs after that last play, and it's like they're walking him to the tunnel. And that 15-yard penalty lets Buffalo start out near the 30. And a first down reception, second catch of the night for tight end Tommy Sweeney.
When you look at that last play, you want your players, and I know Coach Campbell, as he goes over, he wants to talk to his players. He sees a play that happens. It's about the coach's perspective. When I'm looking at this, I look at it and go, is he talking about being aggressive versus being smart? He's probably letting them know, you know what, you're going to go out. I don't want you to ease off the gas. I want you to still be aggressive. Those things are going to happen, but be smart about it.
Jerry Jacobs, another one of those undrafted rookies at corner that he had high praise for yesterday in our talk. Second down and 9. Anthony Pittman with a stop there on the defensive side. Halfway through quarter 3.
I like our conversation when we talked to Coach Campbell, and he mentions the fact that as long as the players are out here giving their all, he's going to, how do you coach a player? It's not always the player who is around the ball, has the ball. He wants to see, as they're out there, if they get tired, are they going to ease up? Are they going to continue to push through? Are they going to show some of these other things? Are they going to show hustle all the time? Are they going to get beaten and get up? And he wants to see the mentality of that player. That's what you want to see coaches measuring, because not every player out here is going to have an opportunity to have the camera on.
Nearly our first turnover of the ball game, but Buffalo able to pounce on it. It's something Detroit, Herman, has talked so much about this offseason. We need to get more takeaways near the bottom of the league last year in that category. Almost had one there.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the players, especially, they're reaching for the football. They're trying to strip the ball away. We see them in practice working a lot. Every team does it. You try and figure out a way to get the ball out, to move that arm away from the football and get separation at the body. But they do a lot of that, reaching those hands in. You never know when it's going to pop loose.
Buffalo able to keep possession. However, the Bills do have an injured player down on the field. Antonio Williams was the injured back for Buffalo, and he did walk off for Shawn McDermott under his own power. And now third down and 13 coming up here as the Detroit defense looks for another stop. Pressure up the middle, and they will get that stop. That is not a live ball. That's an incomplete pass. So Okwara getting the pressure. Julian Okwara.
Okwara's able to beat the pressure, get inside, create that, and get inside the quarterback space. Good coverage downfield by the defensive secondary. Can hold that arm. These guys play long.
It was Romeo Okwara who had the breakout in 2020 with 10 sacks, but don't forget about younger brother Julian. They think number 99 could have an impressive season. Taken from right around the 6-yard line and Bolden to the 10 with a short 4-yard return before Hamlin stops him in his tracks as we go back down to Danny Rogers.
Offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn says his 6 years of playing in the NFL gives him intuition into how his players are thinking, and it also helps him communicate on an entirely different level with his offense. I asked Coach Lynn, what is the word you want people to use when they describe your offense? Look, he kept it real simple. He said points, points, points. Nothing else but points matter. I asked, how many points do you want to see in that scoreboard? He said, we've got a good chance if we can get 28 points up on that scoreboard every game. Brandon?
Well, tonight it's just been the one field goal, but it is so disjointed with you switch the first team to the second team. Now some of the third and fourth team guys out there. Royal able to get the completion. But that's tough, right? I mean, it's just so herky-jerky.
It is. You're not going to be able to find, I think that that fluidity that you're looking for, that consistency you're looking for, you're going to be able to get some of these quick passes out. We've seen that. That's just pitch and catch. We've seen them try and run some of the, we're just going to run just for the sake of running because we want to get some plays on film. When they start to put together a system and a scheme, and you start playing down and distance, you start playing what the defense is giving you or what you're trying to take away from them, now that's where the 28 points they're talking about trying to score every game becomes a little bit more difficult. And unless something emerges on the outside, it's going to be tough to have that type of play because you need big plays.
And a new running back, Dedrick Mills, rookie undrafted free agent with a short gain there. And they will give him the first down. Yeah, it's going to be a feeling out process with Anthony Lynn, but as Danny was saying, I mean, his experience as the Chargers head coach since 2017, obviously invaluable to have him on your staff.
Oh, he's definitely going to bring that value because he's coached at the level. I think he can also bring some insight to Coach Campbell also and say, you know what, here's some of the things if there's pressure or there's questions. And they lean on each other no different than what players do when they go over and they talk to other players to try and get advice.
Off the play action, and then trying to get it to Mills on the pass. They do, but for no gain. Herman, I would think that'd be tough, though, anytime you go from, hey, I was the head man for 4 years, now you're back to second in command. Or maybe it's nice that you don't have to answer all the media's questions in the postgame. I don't know.
For Coach Lynn, even in speaking with him, he just wants to make sure he has an effective, efficient offense. And when I say efficient, that doesn't mean that they're not scoring a lot of points or that they're going down and they're just very conservative. It means that when they're there, they're maximizing whatever opportunities that they have, and they're not shooting themselves in the foot.
Here the offense with a 2nd down and 10. Still Tim Boyle, who got rolled up on but stayed in the game, but here he's going down once more, sacked by that Buffalo defense.
The concern that I had in looking at a lot of these wide receivers, I had an opportunity to study some of their film. The biggest thing they're going to have to do is get off the ball. Anytime they have man coverage, I noticed that there's a little bit of a hesitation. I know Coach Randall is really working hard to make sure they understand, you got to be aggressive at the line of scrimmage. Things are going to happen very fast. They can't be passive on their releases, and then the quarterback's going to be looking to get the ball out. So I'm looking at rhythm. I'm looking at how fast they can get, plays underway versus the quarterback having to hold on to the football.
After the sack, 3rd and long, pass, hauled in, and a flag. But it's complete anyway by Tom Kennedy. What a great throw as well by Boyle.
Outstanding concentration on it, on the side. Boyle's just going to have the patience. And, what I like is whenever you have a receiver, oh, well, I don't know. That one might be coming back. It looked great from our angle. I think this was going to come back. I think that's way on the ground.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. However, pass interference, defense number 32. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic, 1st down.
Still the 1st down with a flag. But Tom Kennedy, another one of those guys fighting for a roster spot. He's been a great practice squad player for the Lions the last couple of years, but only active for 1 game between those 2 seasons. Dedrick Mills, it's been all him on this drive. So we know Swift and Williams are kind of locked in those top spots, then Jamar Jefferson, and now we're going to see some of the other guys like Mills get an opportunity here.
You never know when you're going to be able to keep some of these players. You got to have players on special teams. You got players who they're not necessarily position specific on that, but they're players that can be utilized later on in the event they have injury. So there's all kind of ways, as you mentioned earlier, Brandon, to be able to make this squad, and whether it's in the running back position and coming in as a number 3 or just coming out and doing some things on special teams.
And that pass incomplete. There's Tom Kennedy targeting him again, but he cannot bring it in.
Preseason games are always big. We hear it you're going to be looking to try and get some of that tape. We've heard that over and over and over, and it never gets old. That was said even during my time when we played. If you get an opportunity to go out on the field, you want to make something happen. You want to at least be sound in your assignment. You want to be able to go out and show good technique, or you want to go out and show good hustle, because you don't know where that tape's going to ultimately end up and whose eye you're going to catch.
It's got to feel like a time crunch too, right? When you only get so many plays out here to put that on tape. Boyle able to pick up the first down, upended, but Kennedy holding on to the football that time.
Had a chance to watch Kennedy and break down some of his tapes. Now, he's not going to be a fast player, but he plays smart. He's able to get out here. He's got one-on-one. He recognizes that. He takes the defensive back on the inside, breaks out across his hip, and he knows to come downhill. The quarterback has the patience to wait for him, and coming out of the break, understanding that he's got to be able to secure the catch, get the first down, not do too much with it. And that is, again, that's what coaches look for. Which players are going to help me build confidence in everything that we do?
Kennedy certainly amped up after that first down reception. And the Lions, however, one step forward and now one back as Dedrick Mills gets dropped by Brandon Bryant.
Well, Brandon, we'll talk about it. You know, we just talked about Kennedy. He's seen the ball a few times here. I'm looking at him on tape, and I go, one, does he get off the ball? I watched him. He ran his route. He's able to beat the man coverage. Two, does he come out of his route crisp? Three, does he get the depth that he needs to secure the first down? Again, look at how many points you're getting in just one play. So that's why every play, as you mentioned earlier, to that point, counts.
And up the middle, Dedrick Mills putting a nice play on tape there. The offensive line also created a good hole.
Good explosion upfield. It never gets old saying, you know, you want to see a north runner. Someone who's not doing too much in the back, just getting out there, ball security, protection. We haven't seen that a lot here. We've seen the ball on the ground, you know, I think once or twice, maybe tops. But so far, you know, it's been a pretty clean game all along.
And the Bills fumbled the football, but were able to recover it. Lions have been clean. Needed 2, got 1 yard there, did Godwin Igwebuike. It's the one we were talking about earlier, Herman. They moved him to running back from safety before camp, and also trying him out a lot on special teams.
I guess that would be a good sign. And if a coach is playing you in that many positions, that means they're trying to figure out a roster spot for you. And they're giving you plenty of places to get some tape and get some opportunities in.
Inside of 20 seconds here in the third quarter. 4th down and 1. And got it this time. Great move, Mills to the 20. Ending the third quarter with a little bit of a bang. The Lions in search of that elusive first touchdown of the night. Dedrick Mills getting him 15 yards closer.
In the preseason, that's only builds your confidence as you continue to go.
And it sets up the Lions here on the edge of the red zone. Tim Boyle. Sideline pass, incomplete, almost spectacular by Sage Surratt, undrafted rookie out of Wake Forest.
This is almost an awesome catch and focus. You know, coaches look at that and they see that you're still trying to make something out of nothing. That's not the greatest position. You want to see him give himself a little bit more room on the sideline and not get forced so wide. So there'll be some coaching points there, but there'll also be some points that the coaches will give him for the fact that he had the effort there to try and make something out of nothing.
Boy, he almost hauled that in somehow, pinning it against McLeod's back. The fourth quarter action, 2nd down and 10. Boyle hit as he throws. Well, still no turnovers. We've almost had one on a few occasions, and Tim Boyle's been on his back on a few occasions here as of late. And a flag coming in again.
Personal foul. roughing the passer, defense number 96. The penalty is half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down.
Well, we've seen that a couple times tonight.
Yeah, he's been a magnet for roughing the passer. You know, I give him credit. You know, he's looking to try and put the ball up. He's throwing it up there at the end.
That's Boogie Basham, their rookie second-round pick. They took him in the second round, Greg Rousseau in the first round to bolster that defense. So now, first and goal from the 10. Iguabuke slips forward, another flag.
You don't want to start to see this game get sloppy with, even though you're rotating players in and out, coaches still want to see you have the discipline at this point.
Personal foul, shot block, offense number 70. It's a 15-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That's on the offensive lineman, Dan Skipper.
You can't be engaged.
He's over there on the left side of the line.
That was an opportunity. I would have liked to have seen the Lions even on plays like that. I know we haven't seen a lot of audible calls. We haven't seen any checkoffs really at the line of scrimmage that we can tell. But you see man coverage like that with one safety out. You got two receivers on the left. Wouldn't mind seeing the Lions take an opportunity to take a shot at the end zone or take a fade route. You're not going to get many of those with just one-on-one.
Now you're dealing with 25 yards to go on first down to the end zone. 6 of those yards back. Tom Kennedy with another catch.
One of the safety valves I've seen with this offensive unit is they send players out on combination routes. They send them. They always seem to have either the running back or someone underneath. So there's always a checkoff player somewhere to be able to give that release to the quarterback, and that's going to go well. I mean, I've seen we start looking at a guy like Jared Goff. He's been a magician at making that happen.
Just saw Goff in the first quarter for 2 series. He led the only scoring drive for the Lions. It ended in a field goal after 18 plays in almost 10 minutes. As Boyle throws it incomplete to Iguabuke. Well, what do you do here? I mean, you got third down and goal for the 19.
You can continue to do it. You just work your way in, and if you decide to take that fourth down, or I mean, you can go for it on fourth. We've seen that. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a chance. You know, what are you going to get from a field goal? Your field goal kicker is not going to really benefit as much as your team in getting some red zone play here.
Out of the shotgun on third and very long. Gets him much closer to the 9, and then Iguabuke is draped down by Caleb Beninock. And they will try the field goal.
I guess kickers need love too.
well, we talked about that kicking competition between Bullock and Zane Gonzalez, and it will be Randy Bullock here to try it. He hit earlier from 28. Starter the last 4 years for the Bengals, but lost the job at the end of last season to Austin Seibert. But so far tonight, 2 for 2. That makes it a one-score game with just inside of 13 minutes. Scoring drive brought to you. 16 plays, 80 yards, 8:27 that ended in the Bullock 27-yard field goal. Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning bringing you the scoring drive for the Detroit Lions. They can get 13-6 with just inside of 13 minutes remaining in the fourth. Pretty good return, although a nice tackle at the end too as Stevenson is upended by Melifonwu. Lions preseason football is brought to you by the Henry Ford Health System. official healthcare provider of the Detroit Lions. By Ticketmaster. Buy or sell Lions tickets on Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the NFL. And by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations. Jake Fromm takes over first time as the Buffalo Bills quarterback. 5th-round pick in 2020, but did not see the field. And he starts with a little pitch and catch out wide to Brandon Powell.
You talk about the Lions that last series, 15, they had 16 plays. That's got to make you happy as a coach, because you're showing that you can control the football. You're able to control the drive. There's got to be consistency. There's conversion. There's managing down and distance. There's a lot of things that happen when you have a long drive like that.
And we've seen a few long drives, 3 drives of 15 plays or more tonight. And you were telling me as Price comes up and makes a nice stop that in the second half you were going to be really watching how some of the young guys and veterans interacted on the sidelines. That'll be something to discover here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, we'll definitely be looking at that. We're going to see these players. I've seen a lot more mixture of the man coverage, especially on the defensive side. I've seen the skill position players are facing a lot more man coverage on the outside. There's going to be a mixture of things that are happening. So seeing how they communicate, that was one of the biggest things that Coach Campbell had mentioned that is going to be key for them in the offseason is how they match up with coming out and having good communication.
And 3rd down and 5, and defense is stout. Getting another sack, this time on Jake Fromm. Bruce Hector. Robert McCray getting in there as well.
Well, this is where the preseason gets to be real fun, because coaches start dialing up all kind of plays. They start bringing in more scenarios. They start bringing more pressure. They start going after. You got the 2nd and 3rd string players here, so you're just letting them go out. You're letting them be football players and play. All gloves are off. But you know what? Also, hearing the fans, we can hear that roar off of that big sack right there. Having the fans back in the house means a big deal, as I said earlier, for these players.
Victor Bolden stepped out of bounds before he started to turn it upfield. Well, the fans are back. Lions with the football back, down 7. Coach, and he'll be curious to see how the offense responds here after getting the ball back.
Yeah, this has been dress rehearsal, not just for players, but also for coaches, too. They're needing to figure out how their channel of communication is going to go, how they're going to handle getting players in and off on the field without there being a problem. So they're doing this. This is just as much as important for them as it is for these players.
And Staley Herman, he was a running back coach for the Eagles since 2013. But now here, and a new quarterback, Blau is in. David Blau, and his first pass is completed for 8 yards as he gets it out to Geronimo Allison.
I had an opportunity to talk to Geronimo Allison about what his expectations were for this receiving unit. He said, a lot of people are not going to know who we are, but we're going to have to go out here and make them know who we are. And that's going to come by making plays, but again, going out and being able to do that every game, not just having little sparks here and there, but being able to be dependable players.
And here is one of Deuce Staley's new running backs, Craig Reynolds, recently signed this week. And they'll give him the first down. And speaking of some of those new receivers, Antoine Randall, you mentioned him earlier. There he is. He's a wide receiver in this league and now getting his opportunity with the Lions.
The receivers really enjoy him as a coach. They've gotten to know him. And the first thing he did when he came in, he says, I want to talk to these guys on a level of the personal side. I don't want to talk to them as a coach as much as I want to talk to them about what is it that we're going to do together. I want to establish that type of relationship, and then I'll be the guy that needs to bring the discipline and lay down the law when I need to. But he's gained the respect of his players. They seem to be on the same level of communication, and when they make mistakes, they feel that, they have a good channel to be able to talk to each other without there being a real problem.
And Randall L., it's kind of like how I felt when I met you. It's like you look like you could go out there and play 4 quarters still.
I can go out there and run a couple hitch routes, a couple underneaths. They've been pretty conservative on their gameplay today on both sides. We haven't seen any.
There were 2 fouls by the defense on the play. Holding, number 31. Pass interference, defense number 38. This penalty will be accepted The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Here's the pass interference.
There's going to always be a lot of grabbing and pulling. And that's on their side. The coaches on the Buffalo side is going to say, you know what, son, you know what? You can't hold. That's a little egregious right there.
Yeah, a little aggressive there from McLeod. So now Detroit at midfield. And slipping through somehow is Craig Reynolds. Just signed yesterday. Welcome to the party. Hasn't even had a chance to practice or learn anything on the offensive side, but a nice carry.
Look at that. You get a replay of yourself. Reynolds comes in, get one play. All of a sudden now your name's being talked about. You've been put up on lights. The crowd kind of screams a little bit, almost like Gladiator. You know, they want to come to the Coliseum. They want to see you make plays. So that's a good run.
Guy who played Division II ball in Pennsylvania, then bounced around with a few practice squads the last couple years, looking for a home. And on first down, a gain of 2. Talked about those coaches, though, and how this is really a dress rehearsal for them. I mean, yes, they know each other, but it is for a lot of them the first time working together. So there's a lot of kinks to work out.
Yeah, Coach Campbell seemed a little, not nervous, but he said, you know, I'm really interested to see how this coaching unit's going to work together. They haven't all worked together before. They're coming from different places, and this is equally important, because if you can't get it right on the sideline and you can't communicate the plays correctly to your players and make adjustments, then you're just as much at fault as they are if games don't go well.
This time it's Reynolds on the receiving end, a yard shy. David Blau, remember back in 2019, he started the final 5 games after injuries to Stafford and Matt Driscoll. Just 1 game last year off the bench, and now trying to earn another roster spot. And his quarterback coach, also new, Mark Brunell, 19-year NFL veteran.
Mark Brunell.
The lethal lefty back in the day. Oh, that pass. Did that hit the ground?
It looks like that pass never hit the ground.
Well, they're going to say McLeod's got a clean interception and a clean path to the end zone for a pick 6. Now there's a flag down. I'm not so sure that ball didn't hit the ground.
See if we can get a better look. Oh, yep.
Well, we just saw it here in the stadium, and now you're seeing it at home, no question.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. During the play, personal foul, lowering the helmet to initiate contact, defense number 37. This 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
So the pass not only incomplete, but then Buffalo with a penalty, a 15-yard penalty. So things that looked disastrous turned out okay there for the Detroit Lions.
We haven't seen a ton of penalties, especially from the Lions side. Buffalo's, prior to that, 7 for 83. This was just going to add on to it more.
Griffin to the sideline, and now Detroit marching closer and closer to that first touchdown. Reynolds cuts it back. Craig Reynolds. Is he in? Touchdown.
There's the roar of the crowd. Reynolds going to have a nice little hesitation step right here. He's going to cut back. find nothing. You got great blocking downfield. We won't talk about that a lot. There's another play by a wide receiver on the outside. You know, you're making plays. You're figuring out a way in which, you know, I need to get my name there. Reynolds already, we've called his name twice. 2 really good runs. That's how you get the attention of your coaches. That's how you get noticed. That's how you get game footage. No matter what happens, he's going to have something that he can say, you know what, I deserve to be at this level, even if it's coming in the 4th quarter of a preseason game, but it doesn't matter. When your number is called, are you there to answer the bell, and are you there to make plays?
He did, and now the Lions are going to go for 2 here. There are no overtime games in the preseason anymore. They ruled those out going into 2021. But the Lions are saying, let's try to get the lead anyway. Blau, incomplete, no flag. Trying to fit it in there to Sage Surratt, but he was surrounded by a handful of Buffalo Bills. But the Lions do get their first touchdown of the preseason. Gets pizza on the touchdown run from Craig Reynolds. 24-yard run, longest run of the night for the Lions. 6 plays, 74 yards. The 2-point conversion failed, so still down by 1 with 7 minutes and 36 seconds remaining. Zane Gonzalez kicking it away. Marquez Stevenson returning. I still like the idea to go for 2, though. Why not?
Like
preseason, fans back in the building.
Hey, why not? You know, even on that last one, you see, why not go for it? I throw an alley-oop.
Tonight's player of the game brought to you by Wallside Windows. And it's Reynolds, just signed yesterday, and all of a sudden a huge drive there to put the Lions on the board with a touchdown. 4 carries, 38 yards, and he leads the team in rushing after that last drive.
That's going out and making the most of your opportunity. Like I said before, you may not know a player. If I'm a player, I want fans to know who I am in the preseason. They may not know me coming into the game, but you don't want to be known because you made a lot of mistakes. But to be known, okay, I got 4 plays in. I made the most out of those 4 plays, including 1 big run for a touchdown. All of a sudden, coaches are looking at, hey, you know, when I get the opportunity to this young man, now let's start to move him up the chart a little bit and see how he plays against even different competition.
And now we get a look at some of those defenders a little bit lower on the depth chart here. As Williams gets the first down carry out to the 45. You know, we mentioned, Herman, looking over to the sidelines to see how the veterans and young guys were interacting. How did you treat that as a veteran who was a starter? Were you waiting for the young guys to come to you, or were you seeking them out to teach them things in these games?
Yeah, a good player who's going to try and make his team better, you're going to go seek out those players on the sideline. You're going to stay engaged. You're not going to get lost just because it's preseason. If anything, you're there to assist the coach, and then you're also to bring the perspective that you see as a player to those younger players, because that's where the confidence beams. And that's why when we look at the Lions, what their entire coaching staff is comprised of, these are former players who are going to give a lot of depth of knowledge to these players that they're going to respect. And we talked earlier about Antoine Randall and how he was trying to gel with the receiving unit that no one really knows who they are. They've been journeymen. They've played not starters on another team. But how do you start to incorporate those guys and start to get them to really understand how to play the game? You look at Aaron Glenn, your defensive coordinator. He's going to bring some things. So when he's talking to you, you know he's coming from a place of understanding. He's coming from a place of experience.
And just looking down, I've seen a lot of those conversations here in the second half of old guys and young guys on the sideline. 2nd down and 5, and that stopped for a short gain by Anthony Pittman. Local kid, Birmingham Groves High School, and then played at Wayne State here in Detroit.
That's something I always like seeing, too. The players who are from the state, they get an opportunity to come in. They make the numbers early on when you can carry a bigger roster. And seeing some of the local talent have the opportunity to play on the big stage, I know it means a lot to the community and also to this Detroit Lions organization.
Bills 3 for 10 on 3rd down, make it 3 for 11. The younger Okwara again disrupting. Julian with a sack. And because of that, the Lions are going to get the ball back with a chance to take the lead. Led him on a three-point drive. Okwara has been good in the second half, and now Detroit will start, but at the 15-yard line after the penalty, taking a shot, complete. Hauling it in, Javon McKinley.
As an opportunity to watch a lot of the film from the receivers, I was looking at how they get off the ball. This is a really good release, and being able to locate the ball. Quarterback gets it out early, securing the catch, and that's all you want to do. Pitch and catch, secure the catch, consider the play, and then that's how you make the coaches feel good about what you do, and they have confidence in you. McKinley, I thought, did a really good job of his release. I saw too much dancing around early on in camp, and now being able to just beat the coverage and the tight coverage right off the bat is what you look for.
But unfortunately, on the next play, David Blau is brought down by Mike Bell. And an injured Lion at the end of this. As those bodies piled up there around the line of scrimmage.
You know, Coach Lions head coach Dan Campbell talked about his big concern is, as you start to get into this, guys standing around the pile or guys getting rolled up on, and those are the plays that he's exactly what he's talking about. He doesn't want to see happen, and it's hard to avoid seeing that. You know, you're just doing your job, you're blocking, and all of a sudden, you know, guys just roll up on you. That's going to hopefully not be a bad injury, but you know, it's a lot of bodies, a lot of big guys rolling around out there all the time.
That's Evan Boehm, just signed on August 2nd. Working to be one of the backup centers. With just 3:04 remaining and Boehm still on the ground. And a good son able to help him up. Fourth-round pick back in 2016 by Arizona. They waived him a couple years later, and then last 3 years he's been bouncing around to a few practice squads looking for a home. And hopefully nothing too serious for number 62.
Good to see he's up.
But another opportunity here, Herman, for the Lions to practice the late game situation. 3 minutes left. You're down 1.
You get to manage it. You get the players that are in now. You're going to see a little bit more man coverage. Buffalo's going to have to commit more people into the box, and they're trying to get some pressure on the quarterback. You know, if you decide to put it up in the air, you will get some opportunities on the outside.
Craig Reynolds doing his thing again. Helmet comes flying off to boot at the end of that.
Reynolds showing some really good vision, being able to locate. And what I'm liking is also the patience that he's having. If you look, that little hesitation, he has a little step. He's able to break those tackles. You know, point of contact is when you look at receivers and running back and your skill position guys. Do they make plays after the initial contact? We've seen Reynolds do that a couple times so far tonight.
And now it's an injured Buffalo Bill and DeMar Hamlin. 2:25 to go. You got the 2-minute warning if you're Detroit. All 3 timeouts. All you need, obviously, to take the lead is the field goal.
Lions have been in pretty good position. Really, the play calling's been not, I won't even call it conservative. I think it's been more like a game, and they're calling more situational play calling based on what they're seeing and what the defense is doing.
And this guy's really stood out on just 5 carries, 49 yards, including that 24-yard touchdown run. There's always a few guys like that pop in the preseason, like, whoa, who's that guy? He just got signed yesterday, and now he's having the impact.
There's a good thing that happens with that, because coaches will give you more opportunity because you earn more playing time. You earn the opportunity to have more touches. And for Reynolds, you know, he's signed because of injuries to the running back position. So he's stepping up, being given an opportunity, and this is what preseason comes down to. How do you make the most out of that opportunity? Otherwise, if you got 2 healthy guys or you got your running back unit not as injured as it was, or not, being held back as it was, you may not get that opportunity, but it's here. He's making the most of it, so kudos to him so far. 9.8 yards per carry tonight, 1 touchdown. Can't complain.
Yeah, not bad. And this is going to wind down to the 2-minute warning. I think the Lions would like for this to be the final drive of the game and end it with a field goal and a walk-off winner if it was up to Dan Campbell. We'll see if it plays out that way. By Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. By Goodman Acker, Detroit's trusted law firm. And by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G. Fans in the stands tonight, and Chris Spielman is here. New role for him, stepping away from the TV booth. Special assistant to the president, CEO. And obviously just like you, a former player so well known around here, and a good guy to have in the ear of this staff, and good to have him back.
Yeah, it's good to have him back, and I know he wanted to take a role and have some effect on how this organization starts to get shaped. I think they brought him in and asked his opinion and where he's given it. It's been kind of quiet in terms of what he's doing behind the scenes, but my understanding is that he is having some interaction with the President Rod Wood. He's talking with Brad Holmes. He's talking with, everyone in the Ford family to make sure that they're getting things done.
And right now, Detroit's getting things done. That'll put him in field goal range. Down near the 15 for Tom Kennedy.
If you got a crowded wide receiver unit that's looking to figure out how do I get a spot on this team, you just go out and you make plays. We've seen that tonight. Kennedy's done a really good job of finding those little creases in the defense. He's being, where you can actually depend on him to make the catch, get some yards after the catch, but also secure the first down, and he's been able to do that. That's all coaches are asking for. How do you become that role player that does whatever you're asked, and you know what your contribution needs to be? That's how you're in a spot on a football team.
4th catch leads the Lions. So Buffalo takes the timeout here, Herman, and now you're going to have a cat and mouse game with that clock. Because I think the Lions obviously would like to milk it all the way down and just kick the field goal.
Yeah, the coaches are probably going to do that. I don't see them taking too many shots. Maybe you take a shot in the end zone. You try and get some one-on-one coverage. I would be surprised if Buffalo doesn't give them an opportunity to get some one-on-one on the outside.
See Randy Bullock, who's hit 2 field goals already, warming in the net. Reynolds again. He got tripped up right as he caught the ball.
No matter what happens, the coach is going to use this performance as a way to really prep for the next game.
What do you mean by that?
Well, just to go in and you make those corrections. You want to see that you're getting better from one game to the next. You want to see that you're going to make some mistakes. You expect that in the first preseason game. When you come back, you're going to call those same plays. You're going to see if players have made the adjustments, because they're going to get similar things. You're going to start calling more based on what you're seeing defensively, but it gives you an opportunity to have a second look at players under the same situation against a different opponent. Do they make the adjustments? Did the coaches make the adjustments? And that's what I mean when you take it to the next game.
Bills took the timeout, so they have 1 remaining here. 2nd down. To the air. Now complete and shoved out of bounds, so clock stops on the McKinley catch.
I'm a little surprised to see that you go a little bit towards the sideline, knowing that your clock kind of works in your favor, just letting some of that time run down. But again, this is situational. You're just trying to see if you can get some plays in that you normally wouldn't.
McKinley dragging that foot, his 2nd catch. Third down and 5. David Blau out of the gun. Some pressure. And Blau getting rid of it. So now the field goal try with 1:41. And Buffalo will have an opportunity. Bullock is 2 for 2 tonight. This is a spot where you had seen Matt Prater since 2014, but now with Arizona. From 28 yards, he hit one from 28 earlier, and he's got it from 28 here. And the Detroit Lions have their first lead with 1:38 remaining.
I know it's just preseason. You can hear the fans getting back into it and seeing this team kind of scrap back. And I know it's just preseason. It's nothing that no one's going to really win a whole lot here. But what you are getting out of this is the atmosphere. You're getting the players used to the speed. You get them used to the full contact that they don't get in practice. And you're also being able to start to dwindle down your roster and start to really hone in on who's going to be the players that you're going to go to the season with. So there's so much significance that comes out of the preseason that we all are going to take away a little bit something different than what's expected.
We talked about tickets for the 2021 Lions home games, and they are on sale now at DetroitLions.com/tickets. Teams open the regular season at Ford Field on Sunday, September 12th against the 49ers. Visit DetroitLions.com/tickets to reserve your seats now. 2 more preseason games at Pittsburgh next week, back here against Indianapolis to wrap it up before that game against San Francisco. Trying to return it from 6 yards deep, Stevenson. And it proves to not be a good move. Beckett with a stop. So now can the Lions defense hold? 1:33, Buffalo with 1 timeout remaining.
Let's see if the Lions will play this more just conservative and hang back and get a little bit of a defensive look. And that not even a preventative style defense, but you're going to try and bring pressure. You're going to stay man or you go zone. But I expect them not to give up anything over the top.
Fromm is the quarterback again. He's trying to go over the top. Oh, boy. He had a step. Alex Brown was the one in coverage. Duke Williams had it beat, but overthrown.
They're going to pull back that film tape and that tape and look at it and go, you know what? How does that happen? We know that they need to make plays down the field. They got to get these big plays. You can't let that guy get behind you. You're out there on an island. You're playing one-on-one man. Can't give a guy a step because that could turn to be a lot bigger than what it happened there.
Instead, just a scary incompletion, 2nd and 10. Incomplete. Good coverage. Right arm of Bobby Price batting it down.
It's a good job by Price chasing the inside route. He didn't bite on the move on the inside. He was able to undercut the receiver and jumping in without getting the pass interference. Too often you see guys put their hand on the receiver to try and make that play, and that's just good recognition on his side to be able to extend with the right arm without getting any push or pass interference. So we always see that tug of the jersey.
Third down and 10. Off the edge. Oh, Core almost got there again, but the throw is high. Julian Okwara, 2 straight plays in the backfield.
Okwara's coming off the end, and I said he had range, and just being able to get in the backfield and be disruptive, that's all you need. Just that hesitation causes the quarterback floated out a little bit higher.
This could be the ball game. Deep down the sideline, caught! Hitting Stevenson in stride, and the Bills have a pulse.
And we talk about Price making a good play, and then you come back, you're man up. You can't relax. You know this guy, you're protecting the sideline. He lets the receiver get behind him. Coaches are going to definitely talk to him about that because that is the only thing you're protecting against when you're out there as a defensive back.
This time incomplete towards Powell. Well, from here, it would be about a 56-yard field goal. And Buffalo still has that one timeout. Ah, man, we're that close to finishing out this game. And Stevenson got free.
That's going to be another one of those plays. This is a learning play. You go back, you look at the film. You just don't allow that to happen again, and you learn from it as a player, but also you look at that as a coach and say, where did I fail my guy?
Jake Fromm over the middle, getting a little closer. They'll spot him at the 30. So from here, it would be about a 47-yard field goal. Buffalo's going to take their final timeout.
And you're willing as a coach to give up some plays, but the big play that was given up by Price prior to that, now they're going they can take chances underneath, conserve that last timeout. They don't have to be as pressed as they were before. So now you got to practice clock management. You go back and you say, what are the lessons we get to learn to take into our next game? I talk about what is the takeaway from a game like this. Okay, clock management. We know we got to work on that. We know we can't fall asleep at the wheel when we know we have a game that should be wrapped up, and we let some guy get behind us and make a big play.
Third down and 2. And there's the first down, and they also get out of bounds to stop the clock. So now the Lions are going to have to hope that the Bills mess up here on the next couple plays or miss a field goal.
You even know the danger in a play like that. You, as a defensive back, is play recognition too. What play do I not want to give up? Guy cutting to the outside. Clean those things up. You come back and you fix that next week.
Again working the sideline, this time incomplete. Jalen Elliott there on the defensive side. Robson's coming in his 2 drives, 6 of 11. Trubisky started, then Davis Webb, now Fromm. No Josh Allen tonight. Underneath, trying to keep him in bounds, but he is out of bounds. Anthony Pittman again. He's been active defensively for Detroit.
Didn't really pick up much there, but they've really been working the sideline. And you know that's what you're going to try and give away. The thing you have to guard against, even though there's only 24 seconds left, is overplaying the outside, thinking that you don't want to let guys get out of bounds, and then they beat you with a double move. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if they may take a shot there, may take a chance there. Safeties are playing high, but they've been going to the outside, and typically that's when you're set.